Hello, District 5960. I'm Joe Stallman, co-leader of the district's Polio Plus committee, and I get to serve in that role and learn from the great Charlie Kogan. It's October, and October 24th is World Polio Day. You already knew that. We are doing a lot of great things this month to raise awareness and funds throughout the district. And today I am joined by Richard Mouse, Rotarian, author, and polio survivor. Richard wrote Lucky One, Making It Past Polio and Despair, and is an active member of the Northfield Club. Richard, thank you very much for being here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Joe.
Awesome, awesome. So let's start from the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about when you contracted polio? What year was it? How old were you?
Well, back in 1939, I was about 4 months old, and I had what my parents and the doctor thought was a summer flu. And I got better after a few days, and my parents, a week or a month later, noticed my one foot was dragging more than the other one, hanging in a Johnny jump up in a doorway. And so they took me to a doctor, and he diagnosed it as polio. So that was back in 1939.
Wow. And then from there, tell us a little bit about the next steps. I'm sure you spent quite a bit of time in the hospital afterwards.
Well, I spent a total of 10 visits to Gillette State Hospital in St. Paul. The first visit was almost a year, from about 10 months to a year and 10 months, a few months short of that. And I had a total of 16 operations, and it lasted all the way up through my teenage years to about age 16. Basically, my right leg, the foot, some muscles were paralyzed, and so they had to do surgeries to correct for that drop foot, and the leg was shorter, so they did some surgeries on my left leg to hold it from growing so the right leg could catch up, so that by the time I was in the junior in high school, both of my legs were the same length, and I didn't need any brace or anything, and I could walk almost without a limp. I marched in the band, and I spent a total of, I think, 938 days in the hospital.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, definitely, I can tell why the book is called Lucky One already. What about long-term effects, post-polio? Has there been effects that you're still dealing with today or anything like that?
I'm dealing with some problems. What people call the post-polio syndrome. Turns out, according to the Mayo Clinic, they did an extensive study of it, and it turns out that people affected by polio are made weaker by the virus, and some of the normal things that affect people as they get older just come sooner to the polio victims. So there's no revival of the virus or anything like that. And I went all through my teaching career till I retired, not having any problem at all. A lot of people didn't even know I limped or had polio. But in later years, my knee, where I had a lot of surgeries, is starting to bother some, and my ankle, where I had a lot of surgeries, is also bothering some. And I'm 81 years old now, so there's a lot of people at age 81 that have knee problems and ankle problems. So I don't feel that it's terribly unique, but I can tell that it's a result of the surgeries and the conditions. But in Northfield here, the senior center has a warm water pool. And so I go use that pool every day. And so I'm getting a lot of exercise, and basically I'm getting along real good.
Wow, good for you. So what's the message you would have to people who are watching this to encourage them to participate in our program and to give to Polio Plus?
Well, I can't think of, I'm probably biased, but I can't think of a more noble effort than to eradicate polio from the face of the earth. There's evidence and even pictures showing that it existed back in ancient Egypt. And it's been all over the world, and it affects kids in obvious, noticeable ways. So with Rotary International and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation kicking in big dollars, billions we're talking, toward this effort, I figure neither one of them are going to give up easily. So I think we've got a chance to eradicate it, and people have to just accept the doctors and the medical profession's opinion that the vaccination is not harmful, and it's going to help everybody. And just let's go for it. We eradicated one other disease already from the earth, and I think it was what, smallpox.
Smallpox, yeah.
And so let's add polio to it. And another nice benefit of this effort is in a lot of countries where they didn't have the medical facilities, the medical networks, the medical connections to keep vaccinations cold, to reach the people that needed them. A lot of that is being set up to do this polio eradication. And apparently they announced in Africa that it's done. That same infrastructure can be used to eradicate other diseases in the near future also. So it's going to go beyond polio even. So the money and infrastructure that we're building to eradicate polio is going to be available for other diseases also. So it's a very fruitful effort, I think.
Absolutely.
Getting your money's worth.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for being here, Richard. Thanks for inspiring us, for sharing your story. And I want to encourage everyone else, if you want to hear more, to go out and get the book, please. Remember, everyone, it is time. There it is, The Lucky One by Richard Mouse. It is time to strike out polio this month. So if you give $100 in October, the district and our efforts will match that with another $100 of points. But if you give $365 for the big heavy hitters, we will cover an entire Paul Harris Fellowship for you. As always, and as Richard mentioned, the Gates Foundation will match our cumulative contribution 2-to-1. So quite literally, there has never been a better time for us to do this. So thanks for listening, 5960, and let's end polio now.